Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Hold on, let me just fix this. As you all know, I play video games. If you're gonna tell by the absolute freaking awesome RGB headphones I'm wearing, I play a lot of video games. With that being said, um, cut down here. One of my biggest personal complaints with video games as of right now has actually been not the game. More about the greed that I feel like the companies themselves have been trying to garner. Well, not garner, but the amount of money they're trying to make. It's not become about making a good game, but now becoming about how much money you can make from said game. Which is fair, in all fairness, that's fair to want to make money from your game, but it's not fair to the player. And in this video, we're going to deep dive and talk about skill expression and the greed some of these corporations have just as a whole. To understand my main problem and issue with why I feel like gaming is kind of going downhill, first we have to tackle certain subjects. Here we get to greed. The definition of greed is an inordinate or selfish desire to acquire or possess more of something, especially money, material wealth, or power than one needs or desire or deserves. With that being said, I feel like a company like Riot Games or even Epic Games have become riddled with this, just infested with this greed like parasite that makes their game go from what was good and just aspiring to make a good either battle royale or shooter game and kind of fall downhill. That's my first issue with it. My second issue comes with skill expression. Like at the beginning of the video I explained, skill expression is something that should not be taken for granted. It's something that allows your players to be unique from this person to this person and express how good they are or how much time and effort they've put into learning and studying said character. Whether it's just their favorite character in a way of like, I don't know, maybe the moves are really good, or they have a deep connection with said character, allowing them to express themselves with said character puts them off from everybody else. With that being said, this is going to start the first benchmark of the video, and it's going to be skill expression. To understand skill expression, which some people may take my own definition and say, well, that's wrong, skill expression can mean a lot of different things. So, the textbook definition I pulled up on Google because when has Google ever lied to me, it does my homework for me. The textbook definition of skill expression is the observable demonstration of a person's acquired knowledge from mechanical execution and decision making in real time. With that being said, skill expression is a way to show like emotion or passion for something. And that's about it. This segment's gonna probably be the shortest and the most less talked about, so I'm probably gonna group it in with the last bit, but yeah, that was skill expression. Valorant was actually fully released in June 2nd of 2020. Now, I didn't actually get into Valorant and or play Valorant until it came out on console, which was about a year ago now, which is kind of crazy to think because I have like 1,200 hours in console Valorant, and then I switched to PC Valorant, and it felt really different. And what I mean different wise is obviously the mechanics are different, and the way people play is much more different, but I don't mean in that sense. I mean in the sense of it didn't feel like it was a game. It felt like a lot of people played it because they were addicted to it. Maybe they have too much money into the game. Now, to be fair, I have a little over 200-ish dollars, but that's because the games is awfully expensive for some reason. Like a normal knife, the Xeno Hunter. Those who know what the Xeno Hunter is a normal knife that just kind of flips around, and it's $35, 35, 40-ish. But to think that that simple, basic knife that kind of flips around is that expensive is honestly kind of preposterous, and some may even say a little unfair. Now, Riot Games is not new to making video games. Valorant wasn't their first project, nor will it be their last, as they just came out with a side-scroller fighter game, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video. That honestly isn't bad. It feels pretty good and honestly really fun. It was a fresh take on some of their League of Legends characters that I really never played League of Legends, and I only checked it out a little bit just to see what it was about. Maybe I could understand their, I think it's like 2KO, 2ZKO, I don't know, 2XKO or something. Either way, it's kind of like Mortal Kombat in the sense of it's a tap out, kind of like wrestling almost, where you fight somebody with your normal character or whoever you choose, and then you can choose a second character to either do your blocking or your tapping out. That way you can reserve one character's HP or other move sets, which can lead up for some really good combos, and honestly it made the combat of the game feel refreshing. My honest opinion on the game is it's good, and I had fun playing it. Now, I only played it for about 2 hours ish, and I didn't really play against anybody, more against AI just to understand how the game felt. And obviously, I try to play it on a harder difficulty, and I'm no good player at fighter games. I prefer other games, shooters mainly, but it was a fresh take on it, and I liked it. I was enjoying it, and I've got no complaints about it. Maybe that there feels a little lackluster in characters, but obviously it felt like it was released a little unfinished, and obviously it's continuing to come out with updates like every week at least. So obviously they're putting other games aside and working on this new one that they want other people to feel fresh in. So Riot Games was a business created in October 22nd of 2006. With that being said, League of Legends released in October 27th of 2009. Only what, 3 years after the company came out? And obviously we all know what League of Legends is. I don't think I need to tell you what it is. And then it also lists 2XKO that recently came out, January of this year, January 20th of this year. And honestly, it was a good game. Valorant came out on 2 years. Oh my god! Console almost came out 2 years ago, by the way. Came out August 2nd of 2024. And PC Valorant came out June 2nd of 2020. With that being said, these two seemingly similar, these two games that are just on different platforms are obviously different, but it feels like the console community is genuinely just more lively. They enjoy playing and are having more fun playing it. With that being said, I feel like that's the biggest issue there. Because it feels like the PC and then the console players are just having less fun playing. The PC players are making this feel like a chore. I remember playing a Swift play and saying, "Hey, what's up, guys? Are you gonna watch the ball drop?" And it was on New Year's, and for some reason they told me to shut up, which is odd because I was just making small talk in a relaxed game. And on console, nobody really talks, which some reason makes the experience better. And you would think in a game that is very highly said to be extremely competitive, that the game would be better competitive and talking and hot comms that are just constantly going, but it's not. For some reason, it's not. And this is kind of where begins the part of the video where we get into the biggest problems I have with some gaming now. Mainly just Valorant in general and Epic Games. And why I kind of stopped playing both of them and went to a different game, which we'll get into later. The main reason why I swapped games to a game like, you thought I would tell you, haha, you thought. But no, the reason I swapped games off of Valorant and Fortnite was, well, I played Fortnite for almost 6 years. Fortnite's not a new game for me. I've been playing since Chapter 1, Season 4, and I've loved it ever since. But for some reason, as of recent, it feels like it's been dying a lot. Obviously, there's been 1,000 workers that got laid off, and a whole bunch of more controversy I won't even get into, along with the creators almost ruining it for everybody else, which seems unfair to every other player because, so what? A grown man that doesn't want to curse doesn't like that someone's running away. It's simply a skill issue. Now, yeah, obviously it's annoying for fight somebody with 4 stacks of shockwaves, but no reason to go on Twitter and complain about it. You're a content creator. your job is not to complain about the game, to make content on it. Yes, you're allowed to have an opinion, but when you're a content creator, your opinion is valued more than just a casual pub player or a casual ranked player. But that's a different video for an entirely different day. Anyways, with that being said, my biggest problem with a game like Valorant and Fortnite is, again, just skill expression. It feels like. Sorry. It's just to almost. What are you doing? Good love this guy. Really loves this guy. Shut up, your background noise now. Shush. Shh. 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 No, I have to blur you out now. Anyways, as I was saying before, I got really interrupted by this one. Um, Valorant went through some nerfs, and let's go ahead and list them off. I'll show them on screen. Um, with that being said, Valorant's most recent nerfs to Neon and Yoru have been more substantial, and Yoru's been undergoing nerfs a lot recently. So let's talk about his before I get into anybody else's. Recently, um, his nerfs have been taking away one of his most useful abilities. Obviously, his TP has also been shortened from, I think it was 30 seconds to 15, which makes which makes his window to teleport very small. And most times, no one hits a site until almost 30 seconds have passed. Meaning sometimes his TPs are rendered a little useless since you have to think about the travel time. It gets to the point because it's losing its time even while traveling, meaning he's become less viable. He was a character that took high intelligence, game knowledge, and map knowledge and game sense that rewarded the player for being more, well, I guess just better at the game than the other person. So when you take that whole skill gap away, then you kind of remove what makes Yoru fun. Now, we talked about Yoru. Now let's talk about Neon. What makes Neon such a good expression of character or skill? She runs fast, slides, and could just be better with shotguns. Well, they got rid of her jump momentum, which is one reason she's already a good character. It's because she has a hard playstyle. You have to run it down and not be scared to die. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a super high level Neon player, but I play a lot of Neon, so I would understand her playstyle more than others. And to be fair, it's not fair that she got nerfed so heavily. Yoru only got one of his flash taken away and his TP time shortened, while almost her entire kit got nerfed because her running, she can't run and jump. If she runs in a straight line, then she's gonna die instantly. Which means, just like Yoru, she's been put in a trash bin for other duelists like Reyna, Jett, and like Phoenix. And Phoenix is like the most basic character. Not to say he's a bad character, but he's one of the most basic ones. And to say that he's not, and to say that those characters that don't take a high level, like a high amount of skill, and play those because they're better than these super fun characters or were super fun characters hinders the players that have been maining said character for so long. Now again, really good players are probably gonna swap off of her because unlike Yoru, how you have to you can still play around those nerfs, but with Neon's whole kit kind of got guttered some, which makes her unfun, and it's really sad to see that that's the route they took. Maybe they just take away the amount of speed she gets or the amount of momentum she still carries over, or just speed in general, and they nerf how fast she goes and how much of that momentum she carries over. That way she's still playable, and not every loser that will complain about the fast little ADHD monster running around the map is destroying them. Simply get better. But that also comes to question, why did Neon and Yoru get nerfed so hard then? Well, it's because really good players and pro scene were doing really good with them. I know that sounds crazy to say, but it's true. Some of the highest ranked players and highest level players, the top 1% of pros or players, which are pros, were doing good with these really high level characters. So, my biggest problem here is that they nerfed the character because pros were doing better with her, which doesn't seem fair. The casuals and the content creators that make content all around that said character have now been hindered and their growth could just be stumped entirely. Do I think they should revert this change? Yes. Do I think there are other ways to go about it? Yes. Am I going to give some? I don't think there's any good ones I could. Besides, maybe give Yora his flashback, give it less time to pop or more time to pop. But again, his flash is a big part of his kit. It allows him to have more presence without forcing a swing. Giving him only one makes his map presence less known and his ability to fight and have to rely on his team higher. And that hinders his solo carry potential because, to be fair, a lot of the community plays solo. And as for Neon, Neon's always been a okay, I need my team with me character, but she always had a spot in the meta. Now she's just kind of into the fiery pits of whatever purgatory we get to send her to because she's going to be suffering forever now. Do I think they should just kind of take her speed down some? I think that's probably the best idea. Take away her speed and allow her to run around and look freely. Sure. Make her a little louder, maybe? Sure. But to make her lose all momentum when jumping takes away the skill expression, takes away the skill of her character, makes her less fun, and in turn, makes the game itself and people that really have made their whole personality be about loving this character guttered. Do I think some people that are really diehard fans of Neon players and Neon players in general are going to stop? I think some of them might, just because his changes are really detrimental to just enjoying her. Do I think the really, really diehard fans are going to? Only time will tell. People like Neon or North might switch, but those are two really, really, really insane people. I guess we'll have to see. Now, on to Fortnite. Fortnite's always been a game that's obviously really high on skill expression, but it feels like the game itself has never been truly balanced yet. Now, I could sit here and say that my shotgun shouldn't do 30 or 40 to the body. It shouldn't. It should never do that. I don't care how many pellets I hit, it shouldn't do 40 damage. But that's besides the point. The point is they brought out simple building, which is you kind of just press a button and it insta builds it. Or simple editing, which is just placing your crosshair in a certain spot and it edits it, which takes away the whole point of learning how to use either quadruple edit binds, double edit binds, triple edit binds, edit on confirm on release edit or whatever, and just overall building. When building becomes so babyfied because all your little zoomer babies don't know how to play it, it feels like you're catering to an audience that isn't the original. People took the time to learn how to build, and it feels like you're disrespecting the people that learn how to build. Not only that, but I love collabs. I like when collabs that I like come in. But what does John Cena know about Fortnite? What does The Rock know about Fortnite? He's had like 4 cameos. What does he know about Fortnite? Does Rock play Fortnite? No, he plays movies. He's in a movie. What does he know about Fortnite, huh? Is he cranking 90s? No, he's not. What is Black Adam, the Foundation? None of them. Nothing. Boring. None of them. And it's the same situation with Call of Duty, where Call of Duty added Omni movement to make up for its lack of honestly kind of fun content. The only reason Call of Duty is any good is because of Omni movement. Now, as a was to be supportive of Call of Duty, I'm not as much anymore. I think the game is in a really bad spot gameplay wise, but when you kind of recycle old stuff to make it new, you kind of make it better, I guess. I mean, MW3 wasn't all that bad. I really enjoyed that game a lot more than most people, but mainly because the sniping felt fresh and new. While the sniping still feels fresh and new in BO6, and I guess BO7, it just doesn't feel the same as I think it should. And along with the campaign, Call of Duty was very sought after by its campaign, and for some reason, not anymore. The campaign is almost like an acid trip if you took 14 pounds of mushrooms, and the multiplayer is bad. Obviously, Call of Duty has has a very webbed lore, almost like Shadow Dimensions, but Shadow Dimensions was good because it only followed 4 people. For some reason, this is following past, future, present, and well, that's all of them. There's only 3. And it's still struggling to do all of them. You make the lore. And it feels like they're coming up with the lore at the same time. And that's my same opinion with FNAF lore. Anyways, now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video. What game I switched to and why? Marvel Rivals. I know. Don't say it. 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 I know it's a Gooner game. I know. I get it's a Gooner game. Look at me. Look at me, son. Look at me, son. I get it's a Gooner game. Okay. I get it. I know. I know it's a Gooner game. But that's kind of besides the point. I don't like Rivals because it's a Gooner game. I like it because it allows me to express my skill. And I've never been one for 6v6 shooters. I never played Overwatch or really League before making this video, or not. I probably won't play it after much. But Rivals seem to be different because it's my favorite superheroes with the same concept, but it feels refreshing to me. And I have almost 400 hours in the game. I have 400 plus hours in the game. I'm not ashamed to say I'm a little addicted. I'm really addicted. I love Rivals for so much more than just, hey, this is fun to me. But I also really like it because, well, skill expression again. The whole reason I made this video, skill expression. Skill expression should never go unchecked. Spider-Man, Venom, characters that are dive, they are good because they have expressed how good they are, their mechanical knowledge of that said character in the time they have put to learning said character. They're rewarded by this. They're rewarded with this gameplay, with this ability to be better than everybody else, which is why I think Rivals will succeed more than other games. Games like, I don't know, Overwatch are kind of reset itself back to Overwatch 1 and doing better now. Now, to be fair, Overwatch is also a little gooner game, a little bit of a gooner game, and that's not bad, I don't think. I don't think being a gooner game is necessarily bad, nor do I think it's terrible. But yeah, I'm a little bit on both sides here. I don't think it's a bad idea for it to be a little bit catered to, oh, tough girl in a cute little outfit or whatever. So, I mean, again, I don't buy those skins, and I don't really play those kind of characters. I'm more DPS tanky. So, yeah. Um, so yeah. But that's my biggest problem. Do I think games are just gonna die one day and we'll all read books again? Not a fat chance, no, not at all. But do I think games will probably need to start doing better to kind of relive their glory days, or just even do better in general? Yes, 110%. Either way, with that being said, big flex for me, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.